Empires on the Run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
In the last 50 years, iodine has been phased out of our staple foods and replaced with the halogen bromine, a practice now banned in nations around the world. Guess what else is in the halogen family? Fluoride. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here. In 1924, the federal government did the right thing and encouraged salt producers to add iodine. It's the good halogen on the periodic table, and the results are on record. Reports documented a 15-point IQ increase in areas that had previously been deficient in iodine. Bottom line, iodine is important. Unbound, clean, in a glycerin base. Nascent iodine was the answer for myself and my family. You will find Survival Shield Nascent Iodine exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWars Life Survival Shield Nascent Iodine isn't just for emergencies. I take it every day. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Why does the United States spend the largest percentage of GDP in the world on healthcare? Why do we have the highest cancer rates on the planet, the highest rates of diabetes, autism, and every other major disease? It all comes down to one thing. We are what we eat. Our food is devoid of nutrition and processed with poisons and additives. Our water is filled with toxic poisons and big pharma runoff. All of this has been engineered by design. We can turn the tide against the eugenicist by giving ourselves the nutrients our body desperately needs. To learn more, visit InfoWarsHealth.com. The site is literally packed with audio and video featuring top health professionals who don't bow down to big pharma. The fight against the New World Order starts with you, and you can't stand against the machine if you're sick, tired, and obese. When you visit InfoWarsHealth.com, be sure and check out the catalog with nearly 400 life-changing products and get free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip. The facts are in. The studies are legion. Sodium fluoride and other toxic members of the fluoride family are devastating the health and cognitive ability of the American people. So why are the social engineers adding it to the water? Simple. Dumb down the host population that the parasitic technocracy is feeding on. We may not have been able to get fluoride out of the water supply yet, but we can help to get it out of our bodies. I am extremely excited to announce the exclusive InfoWars Life Fluoride Shield formulation, fusing 6 of the best documented ingredients from around the world to help the body remove not just toxic fluoride residues from the body, but a whole host of toxic substances. Let's take a stand against the globalist by blocking their poisons with Fluoride Shield. I use Fluoride Shield every day. Secure your Fluoride Shield and other pioneering formulations at InfoWarsLife.com today. Let's start cleansing our bodies now and support the Info War at the same time. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
He aligns himself with the truth, and it's time for you to choose a side. You're listening to Alex Jones.
Chaos is hanging around. Put your ear to the ground and shut it from the sound.
Shooter Jennings bringing us in.
The death machine ain't slowing down.
Monday, Jonathan Davis of Corn.com is going to be all of this. I'm really interested in getting him on. I'm glad we contacted him a few weeks ago, and they're ready to come on a short notice. Skype is just, for whatever reason, it happens sometimes. Even people we regularly interview, it just won't make the connection on 2 different computers. So we will get him on Monday if they're able to work out all those problems. If not, we'll just get him on via phone. But Skype is more powerful, so we'll look forward to that coming up and play that music video on Monday. I'll be back this Sunday, of course, 4 to 6 p.m. Central. I want to go back to the caller. Was that Ralph in Texas I was just talking to? I want to be able to finish his point about Michio Kaku, that I was calling Michio Akuku. Just being silly, folks. You got to have some fun with this. And then Roger in Canada and others. The toll-free number to join us is 800-259-9231. And then I'm going to get into a video that just went up on Infowars.com that is excellent and comes from a comedy perspective. Some of it's a little bit racy from maybe a 10th grade perspective, but it's the folks that made American Dream, that great animated 30-minute film. And it breaks it down, so we're going to be... In fact, will you guys print me off that data sheet on it just so I have it? It's video. Baby's got a gun. And I'm going to tweet that out at Real Alex Jones here in just a few minutes. And I'm going to play that video that gives you statistics and facts. And it's all about getting people already that are very successful and have all these platinum records like Korn and others to speak out against the tyranny. But it's about getting grassroots filmmakers to make their own films and counter the lies. That's what it's really all about. And I get that physicist Michio Kaku is a smart guy. The point is they couldn't get a regular meteorologist or even astrophysicist on. They got a guy on. I read his quotes about how unusual warm is causing the freeze. They even put that in that Al Gore supported movie. It was a fiction, The Day After Tomorrow, whatever it was, that Art Bell was involved in, and the whole world freezes because it's so warm. I mean, just give me a break, folks. The sun is the main driver. It's about taxes, and the whole carbon tax thing distracts from all the crises in our environment. The overfishing, the toxic waste dumping, the toxic pesticides that are being used, and the chemical fertilizers that don't give you the nutrients you need. There's thousands of the honeybees dying. But it all comes down to taxing carbon because we're a carbon-based economy. And I'm not saying oil's great. They've suppressed all sorts of other technology by funding the fake green movement, windmills and all this stuff. I'm sick of them acting like they're the progressives that want humanity to progress when they're the Agenda 21ers on record, that say they want to shut down society for the general public as a tool of control. I know their internal documents. I know their political writings. I know who they are. Now, I don't know if Kaku is a bad guy individually. But I know that him saying this is global warming is a load of bull. So for 17 years, the Earth's been cooling compared to the warming cycle we've had since the 50s. And folks, I've read the history books that were written hundreds of years ago. It wasn't about global warming. It wasn't about debating. It was about, for a 10-year period, the major rivers in England all froze over. And then for 50 years, nothing froze over. There used to be grapes 1,000 years ago growing in northern England. Now you can't grow grapes there. There's cycles. There was the Hyperion Maxim 10,000 years ago, where northern Europe was like the Bahamas or something. I mean, I'm just sick. I mean, it was like 15 degrees hotter or something on average. It was insane. And paying money to the globalist is not going to fix things. So that's why we were calling him cuckoo and stuff, because he's not cuckoo. I think he knows what he's doing. Now, Ralph, I don't want to just... You tell me what you have an issue with. Go ahead.
Yeah, I totally agree with you about getting a theoretical physicist to talk about climate. I think that's dumb. But the thing with like the kooky things that he says about telekinesis and telepathy and things like that, he's talking about like what you say about the advancement in technology and how we'll be able to have portable MRIs that already can take crude images. They
already have that in the airports as a test 10 years ago. No. I hear you. Go ahead.
Right, and they'll be able to make a mobile version of this, and that's how we'll be able to have a kind of telepathy that he's talking about it.
No, listen. So, they've got studies showing magnetic lines that birds navigate off magnetics, that humans have those cells. It's really just science, and people don't sixth sense, all of it. And so I don't think that discredits him. I actually think he's a really smart guy. And that's why I actually get mad at him when he's saying it's global warming, just because that's like a liberal sacrament. And I had some of the crew was like, hey, man, Michio Kaku is pretty interesting guy. Why are you saying that? And I was just going along with Moreno. Moreno's just mad at him because he's lying about global warming and not using science. And so he was getting into some of his more theoretical stuff. But I hear you. Anything else?
Yeah, I think you should just have him on the show. And one more thing. I don't know if anybody told you, but this last Austin City Limits, Matt Bellamy from the band Muse gave you a shout-out when he was doing the song Uprising. And I just thought it was, the trendies had no idea what he was talking about. But, yeah, I cheered him on when he gave you a shout-out. So
when was this, a year ago?
Yeah, it was last October.
At what event?
the ACL, Austin City Limits.
Yeah, ACL. We should dig up his stuff online and find that. He's a great guy. On his website, we're like the only link he has on there to politics. And then he go on the BBC everywhere and like wear Infowars.com shirts and TerraStorm shirts. And I don't even care. He's been on the show before. One time I heard he was in town and gave him a call and he came on. It's not that big of a deal except that I like his music. So I'd like to get him on. But hey, that's fine. We appreciate Matthew Bellamy giving us a shout out. All right, I'm going to go to this video. I'm going to come back with more of your calls. Again, this video is up on Infowars.com, and it is titled Baby's Got a Gun. And it's the first tile in the featured news area when you go up there to the site, if you want to share it with people. And it breaks down the reality of gun control. Here it is. Man walks in the room. He's hit by shock and awe shorts. Lightning.
Columbine. Virginia Tech.
Tucson.
Aurora.
Fort Hood. Oak Creek.
Newtown.
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 The pair of you would like to have the right to have a tank, and you don't agree with a single...
Why are you making... Now you're committing straw man, Piers.
President Obama's proposals to gun control. And you know something? It makes me sick when I hear people say that kind of thing.
Demand a plan.
I know the Second Amendment. What I haven't heard is one coherent reason why any civilian in America needs an AR-15 military-style assault weapon. Tell me why you need one.
As a husband.
As a wife.
As an American.
As an American.
As an American.
Over the past 4 years, fear of a black president has made gun sales shoot through the roof and into the apartment upstairs.
Now, what are these white people so afraid of out in the suburbs?
For the children of Sandy Hook.
On the NRA side is also the argument that we must be taking up arms in order to potentially fight a military battle against the U.S. government. So it's that argument and maybe 10% of the population on their side of the argument.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time for our leaders to act. Demand a plan. Right now.
You know, coming from Britain as I did, I find a lot of the gun laws in this country incomprehensible.
Okay, my eyes are bleeding watching the Englishman and his merry band of shoulder parents play Manchurian candidate with the hearts and minds of the American people. What if everything we just heard isn't true? What if it's a narrative not based on fact, but on irrational fear and an overdose of elitist smug? As you can see, I'm just a baby. Granted, a badass baby. But even I know a lie repeated 1,000 times is still a lie. The badass bloodline has been at war with the lying liars for a long time now. My uncle Badass IV took out the White House trash.
I'm not a crook.
My grandfather, real badass, helped save Private Ryan and the Holy Grail from the Nazis. Going all the way back to Badassiest I, who defeated the so-called God King. Badass babies have been cleaning up history's mess for a long time. And now, it's my turn. Now, the Blink Blink box talks about guns like they're the six-chamber apocalypse smelted in Satan's workshop. But Satan don't use guns. He uses trickery, which is why so many believe that guns are the problem. We have more guns now than ever, and crime has plummeted. Permettez-moi de repartir. French for, let me repeat for you, we have more guns, less rules, and less crime. I know. With all the dire headlines screamed by Hysteria and his sisters in the press, you would think it's modern warfare out there. But actually, it's not. The reality is, you're safer today than at almost any time in the modern era, from getting shot, stabbed, robbed, or any other crime. Except hoodwinked. Hoodwinking is up. Regardless of how you feel, you are safer. Why is it that you're safer, but you don't feel safer? With all this airtime, the press and the politicians fill you with fear and anxiety, which is all meant to show you why you need them. If you know you're not in as much danger, then you're not as afraid. And if you're not as afraid, you may decide to go play kickball with the kids while you queue up some burgers and dogs, rather than watching CNN or Senator Worthless tell you why you should give them more time, money, and power. As to mass shootings or mass killings of any kind, they have always been extremely rare. You have the same chance of being killed in a mass shooting as you do being killed by lightning. You walk around scared of a lightning death strike all day? If your answer is yes, then I have 3 terrifying